Even a blind man can see what we are all seeing, and yet you're trying to gaslight us into pretending like it's just all regular and that we are the bad guys. That is the truth. The truth does hurt, and people want to know who killed Charlie Kirk.
It's like a radiant beacon on a hill, drawing you close and holds you still. Carried by gentle warriors, clothed in God's will. Shadows try to hide the beams, but it shines bright for all who see. Truth can't be put out. Silence trampled by violence. It's a roaring flame. Proclaims can't be restrained. Won't bend a knee. Sets the captives free. Right here alive, yeah, you and me. Day, dreaming their dreams, walk in their faith. Fearless of sharing Jesus' ways, paving the way. Sacrifice is not forgotten, but your light spreads love, still living. Truth can't be put out. Silence trampled by violence. It's a roaring flame. Proclaims can't be restrained. Won't bend a knee. Sets the captives free. Right here alive, yeah, you and me. Cannot be denied. Yes, the truth, the way, the life, risen, cannot be denied. Truth can't be put out. Silence trampled by violence. It's a roaring flame. Proclaims can't be restrained. Won't bend a knee. Sets the captives free. Right here alive, yeah, you and me. Truth can't be put out. Silence trampled by violence. It's a roaring flame. Proclaims can't be restrained. Won't bend a knee. Sets the captives free.
Good evening, everybody. My apologies for the bumpy entrance. I was so excited that I was having technical difficulties. Today, we've got an exciting show for everybody. It is going into the bare bones of what is happening in Canada with paid Antifa opposition to the normal average families, the moms, the dads, the people that hold bodily autonomy sacred. The ones that are standing up across this country have been under attack for quite some time. So we've brought the all-star panel to explain to you exactly what's happening in Canada. Without any further ado, I'm going to bring on Brad Wilder. He's an experienced journalist who hosts TP Can News. He's a brilliant mind who brings everything factual to the forefront. Welcome, Brad. How are you today?
Hi, Raven. How are you tonight?
I am absolutely fantastic. I'm so excited. I'm actually vibrating. I wouldn't even drink any coffee. Okay, like
I know we've
it
talked
is
about
so
5
exciting.
times today, and I know that the excitement's been brewing since your early morning coffee, and here we are. Now's the time, and we've got a fantastic guest. Let me preface the guest, because the guest is just as powerful as the song we just listened to.
Thank you to
Fantastic
Jamie
job there
Nix for that.
by Jamie. Yes, Jamie did a fantastic job with that song. It's truly patriotic, and it means so much as we move forward with Turning Point Canada News and Turning Point Canada to begin with. Tonight's guest, somebody very special. I know you're excited to introduce that individual, so I won't mention their name, but
Go ahead.
you go ahead and take it away.
All right. So we have a special guest. We have lots of special guests today. The first guest that I'd like to introduce is Mr. Pat King, coming to us live from Quebec. He's been an advocate for a very long time. Him and I met in Ottawa at the Ottawa Convoy. But despite all the attempts to shut him out, even though he was one of the ones that kept the wheels on the truck, he stood strong, and he's still standing strong coast to coast for Canadians. Hi, Pat.
Good evening, everybody.
Welcome.
How are you?
Good. Thank you
Thanks.
so much for coming on the show today.
I appreciate it. Always a pleasure to see your pretty face and meet all the new people again and old people. I see we have some people in here that faces I've seen and haven't seen for a while. So I'm looking forward to getting into an in-depth discussion with each and every one of you. And Brad, I appreciate you for your kind words earlier. And once again, this is getting to be pretty bad here. And as long as everybody's looking to go the right direction and bring out the awareness that needs to be brought up, I'm always on board from coast to coast, like you said.
Exactly. This is a time to come together and unite. And we've got a lot of division at the moment. It's all a PSYOP division that's being created upon us and thrown upon us all. But, nonetheless, we're going to get through this at the end of the day. What's going to happen going forward, that's anybody's guess, one day at a time, one step at a time. And let's see where we end up. We know where we've been. We know what we've challenged. We know the outcomes to a lot now, and how we shouldn't necessarily proceed any longer with those efforts, because they're a waste of time. And we've weeded all that nonsense out, and now we can move forward with all the good stuff that we need to get the mission done, which is get our country back in order.
Well, you're absolutely right when you said to the part of the PSYOP. I'll tell you that much, because I've experienced it myself firsthand. And now I'm just starting to uncover some of it in recent days. So here we go.
Okay. Here, your first question then. Pat, are you MK Ultra?
Absolutely not. My ADHD would never allow me to sit long enough to to experience any kind of that kind of nonsense.
Well, that's good, because people continue to obviously say all kinds of things, and they really don't know the truth about any of it. And that's why it's good to have you here. We get the real word from the horse's mouth, as they say.
Well, I'm an open book. I always have been. And the best part that I do, and a lot of people forget about, is I always come with receipts. I always have the proof. I will never make a false claim. I will always put the truth out there first and foremost. I'd rather be hated for the truth than to be loved for a lie.
You got it.
Absolutely. I know he's the real deal. I was in the trenches with him in Ottawa. I seen how he was treated by the bad guys. So bad guys don't treat bad guys bad. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to bring on Mr. John Baptiste. He is the founder of TP Can, patriot who is standing up, coming out of the ashes. Actually, he's on the tail end of this hot mess, trying to pull this all together.
Right.
Hi, John. Welcome.
Hey guys, I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Can you? Test 1 2 test.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Woohoo! Fantastic, Pat. Nice to meet
Yes,
you,
sir.
Pat. How are you doing? How are you doing, sir?
It's been a ride. It's been one of the most eye-opening experiences I've ever seen in my life. But to be dealing with it firsthand now, and being in that mix and in the lawfare and buried in their quicksand. As soon as we said we were in their sandbox, well, we knew it was quicksand, but I didn't think it was this bad. It's insane. Our judicial system in Canada, has got to be the worst judicial system in the world, next to, well, I'm sure it's worse in third world countries than that, but for a free and democratic society that we're supposedly living in, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute.
All I'm gonna say, Pat, like, it's pretty simple. Like, if you have cash, if you have money, the system will be by your side. If you're
Mhm.
broke, you're fuck. Excuse my
Yep.
French, guys. Okay, I'm sorry for using that word tonight, but we need to be crystal clear here. Like, if you do have the money, you will have like the top-notch lawyer to help you out by your side to take you out. You know, in that little, you know, I don't like to use that word, but evil system that was built by individual who were like already rich. So, hey, guys like you and I, let's say, I'm not assuming like it's your case, Pat, right here, but if you don't have the, you know, money, you're literally you're gonna be put aside and go straight to jail. Like, look, we have like many cases like that all across Canada, guys, all across
Oh yeah,
Canada.
I'm not the only one. There's plenty of people out there that are struggling every day for lawyer fees due to
That's right.
you know, they're exercising their rights in Canada and participating in protests and stuff. And this lawsuit, this lawfare, like I can't even begin to tell you. I'm in 4 court cases and still in a lawsuit that has yet to be certified in Canada, but yet has a statute of limitations and still haven't even touched it. It's
Oh,
insane.
wow.
Money,
It
they're
is
still
insane.
frozen. Millions of dollars are still frozen. People have lost their businesses. They've lost everything in doing what we've been doing.
Absolutely. But hey, nice to meet you, Pat. Let's shake the tree. Let's get ready for the Rumble tonight, right?
I'm
How
all about that. Let's
It's
go.
gonna be
Let's
it's gonna be
go.
a good one. We still have more guests. We still have more
yeah,
guests.
we do. We do.
We do, and it's super exciting because we have leaders that are starting to come forward all across this country as we start to build this giant network that we're working on. The louder we get, the bigger we get, the bigger we get, the stronger we get, the stronger we get, the less energy the bad guys have to be able to tackle us. So one of our first chapter leaders that's come on board is Miss Patricia from Alberta. Hi, Patricia. Welcome aboard. You got to turn on your mic.
You're muted.
Yeah. I'm so glad to be on board. Thanks for having me. It's really nice seeing the nation come together, and it's nice to see people starting to be more bold, like Charlie Kirk. And I'm really looking forward to the fight ahead of us and trying to get our country back.
Hey, I
Awesome.
just
Well,
need to
thank you.
ask something. I'm sorry to talk over you, Dana, please, and thank you. I need
Go
to,
ahead.
you know, enlighten me, please, Patty. What's going on behind you? Do you have like a jungle or something? I'm just saying.
I do have a jungle behind me, yes. I have 10 birds, so I'll keep it on mute as much as possible.
Fun. Okay, so the last
Lovely.
guest that we're going to bring on our panel today before we get into what everybody's chimed in to see, which is the corruption behind Antifa, I'm going to call them domestic terrorists because that's what they are. Even though the government doesn't say so, but the government doesn't say a lot of things it should say and says a lot of things it shouldn't. We have a fantastic patriot from Ottawa who pretty much has been in Ottawa for 5 years. So she's had a lot of firsthand experience with dealing with Antifa on the streets face to face, has great information on how they operate. Hi, Sarah. Welcome.
How are you?
I'm good. How are things in Ottawa?
Good. So I'm just about like an hour out of Ottawa in the country. I'm in Mallorytown, Ontario, but I did frequent Ottawa a lot. And so, yeah, I can speak on a lot of their hate crimes towards me.
Yeah, they're nasty. They're like a bunch of nasties. People are hoping that we're going to put out some names here today. So let's get into it. Brad, where should we start? There's so much that we have to unpack here. Your mic is gone, Brad.
Oh, there we go. Let's do that. Hit that button. I muted myself when I heard the birds. I thought, oh, maybe that's me. Lots of people to say hi to tonight, Raven. Lots of people chiming in on the chat. If you're available there, please make sure you hit us up on the chat. You can ask questions of Pat. You can ask questions of any of us guests, and Raven as well. Want to say hi to Julie. Cindy's here tonight, as well as Trisha's here. Linda. There's so many. Dee Dee's here. Who else have you got on your list, Raven?
I've got a Lucette. I've got Terry, Dave, Diddy, Ian. There's so many. There's over, well, almost 700 on my end that are watching. We've got a
Fantastic.
Tina. Yeah, Jeff Dunn. We've got a full house here today.
I know
which is
Sandra's
amazing.
out there and Chris Freedom is out there as well watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you
Right?
know some of these folks. That's great. We've all shared the episode or the preliminary commercial, and now everybody knows about it. So here we are.
Okay, so let's get rolling. John, tell us why you started TP Can and what is your perspective on Antifa?
My perspective. Wait. Like that was two questions. That's two questions right here. So which one do you want me to answer first?
She's tricky.
Oh,
I know.
I'm complex. Basically, I mean, TP Can is a foundation that stands up for faith, family, and freedom. And
That's right.
we have Antifa, who's opposite of faith, family, and freedom. What are you seeing happening, and why do we feel inspired to have to expose them in this country?
I mean, personally, let's say, like the key fact, guys, okay, about Antifa. No centralized leadership. That's the mindset, how they work, okay? Technically speaking, and I'm pretty sure you did look up into the topic tonight, Dana, but no formal like national structure exactly. That's how they work. Okay, that's why like I know I saw that laugh, Pat, and no official membership list as well. Am I right? Am I right?
No
Pat?
accountability, transparency, or anything with that organization other than their new playbook or their playbook that we just so happen to have a copy of tonight to show everyone.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you very much, and then thank you, Brad. But Antifa for like a short way to say anti-fascism, anti-fascist, right? So the term like of the origin from Europe, guys, and everybody are like, always like the same. Like, where is that coming from? How come like it grew up and then and merged from where exactly? But it's from Europe in the first place, and in the early 20th century, and when the group itself opposed authoritarian and fascist regime. This is what today Antifa, and not a single organization with leaders and membership cards or a national headquarter, but it's best to describe as a loose network or movement made up on independent groups and individual guys. So it is let's say it's well organized right now. And this is why USA decided like lately, I don't remember, maybe Brad, you have a better memory than mine, but when exactly they decided like to say this is officially a terrorist, a domestic cell group terrorist, right?
That was
When
pretty
was that?
recently that they did that.
Right.
But this organization started to ramp up efforts back in 2013, about the same time as the trans movement started to ramp up. And, I've got
That's
another podcast that I'm on called Unmasking the Trans Movement. We talk about that all the time. We're there for the protection of women and children. We hate nobody on that show. But the reality is that the trans movement is an issue that kicked off a lot of things from that DSM-5 booklet, which monetized really the trans movement to become a $3 billion a year industry.
What?
Yes,
True
it is.
story.
It is.
What?
You did. Thank you, Brad. I was coming with that number. Wow. Amazing, right?
Yeah.
How do you like it so far, guys? And honestly, guys, jump in anytime you Pat, especially Patty, jump in anytime you want it, guys. But like, let's talk about, the famous tactic of those guys. I love it. It's so predictable. Mask identity, often like called black bloc, you know what I mean? Counter protest, online doxing on opponent, property damage during demonstration as well. You saw that. Like, come on. You saw that all over the news, guys.
I've seen it, been a part of it, been a victim of it. I threw some bombs in it. I've been in the mix. I've been there when friends of ours have been hit by bricks from them. I've had them threaten my family. I've had them expletives that are disgusting. One of them, in fact, their mother and father saw what they were saying about me. And their mother and father wanted me to bring them up to a rally where they were at one time that they were going to counter protest one of our rallies in Alberta. And I had his mom and dad there. And I said, do you want to tell your mom and dad what you just what you just told me. And it turned into almost a riot situation. They come with big, heavy shields that they use. They have tactics where when the cameras are on your face, they know to hit you in the feet so they don't get it on camera. We've become very skilled at understanding. They come with golf clubs hidden behind their posters. They come with spray bottles with
Amazing.
Fabex in
Wow.
them.
They're
And then we
violent.
find out that they're just young little punks that are being paid by their teachers or influenced by the education system. The NDP's right deeply involved in them here in Canada. The NDP can get them running rampant in a minute. They can coordinate. You'll always know there's always a loudmouth in their crowd that's pushing them into saying the specific chants that they need to say. It's very well orchestrated. You've seen them take over the Confederation building in Ottawa with the NDP members standing right in with them taking pictures. If we were to do something like that while we were in Ottawa, you know damn well that we would have been swatted and taken out and beaten and dragged across the ground. But these guys got an open invite. It's very well
Absolutely.
orchestrated, very politically motivated, very educational driven.
Well, they actually work in tandem with the unions, because when we did the 1 million March for Children, we had that leaked video, remember? Where the video came out and it showed that CUPE, Fred Hahn in particular, was part of a giant stream that they were doing a Zoom about how they were going to attack parents and be in opposition to parents across this country to demoralize them and to prevent them from standing up. And in that room in specific was Antifa. Now there is a specific Antifa leader. We know who the leader is, the follow the leader. His name is Evan Belford, I believe.
Belgord. Evan Belgord.
Yeah.
Oh
That
my
guy's
God.
interesting.
I thought you were about to say Dr. No from James Bond.
Right? But it's a job for him. It's a job for him. He gets up, he goes to his cabin on the weekends, he plans out who's going to do what where, and sips his coffee, cashes his paycheck, and he's an employee, right? Which is
$45 million employee.
Yeah. Right?
Well, if
This is
people,
what we're
like
up
Nina
against.
said, if you know who Evan Belgord is, you'll know there's a specific network called Anti-Hate Canada. Evan Belgord oversees Anti-Hate Canada and puts out his marching orders along his streams through his channels into the education system. We know Kurt Phillips is another one. Kurt Phillips is a principal, I believe, or he was a math teacher at a Catholic school in Drumheller, Alberta. In fact, hey, Kurt, if you're watching, I'm the guy, remember, the one who did the brake stand in front of your house on my Harley, and let you know that we knew where you lived after you went and doxed everybody online in Alberta. And we decided, because, Drumheller is a very hot biker spot, we decided to go for a cruise. But education. If you look at another one by the name of Janice Irwin in Alberta, Janice is famous. Janice is infamous for her Antifa gym that she had. And now she's a member of Legislative Assembly in the Alberta Assembly. And she's the right-hand henchman to Rachel Notley, or what I like to better call her as a Skeletor. Janice Irwin was training these little thugs in her gym, special tactics, special ways to come at us, how to dox people, all the while trying to train these kids on combat and how to go after us. So very, very well politically influenced, 100%.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, Pat, because you mentioned the kids, and I was able to do some research over the last few days just to kind of get ready for tonight's meeting. And I thought about, where does the training come from? And you're right, there's a lot of different pushes for, the public to be trained, but also individuals at a younger age. And this started for us back when, I'm almost 60 years old. I'm not going to lie. I'm almost there. And that being the case, I've seen a lot in my lifetime. One of the things that I remember doing as a kid was walking around. Are you able to put the screen share up right now? If you look in the down at the bottom there, Raven, it's in the green room there. Can you see? It's just waiting to be pulled up. But The little box we carried around as kids when we went out for Halloween and they put change in for UNICEF.
The UNICEF box.
UNICEF is now one of the biggest advocacies for propaganda and training kids for advocacy. And it's
The
not
biggest kind,
advocacy
you
that
said?
you're
I'm sorry,
thinking
you
of.
said the biggest kind?
It's a very, very deviant kind.
Yeah.
I can't find that box, Brad.
No, somewhere it was.
I think you can share it from where you are.
And I
You
have,
should have a
I
little
have
box
done
on your
that.
side.
It says stop screen, but it looks like I am sharing already, so I'm not sure why it won't show it.
Strange.
Hmm.
I don't know. We're gonna have to work on that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for next time then. That's okay. But between UNICEF, there's also another organization that loves to train their activists, and it's actually called the Activist Handbook, Training for Activists, Trainers, Facilitators, Consultants, for change makers, and for nonprofits. They list 70 organizations around the globe that'll provide online training and workshops to facilitate your activist group. So you're going to get, in-depth training to go out and do exactly what, Mrs. Good did the other night when she was shot by the ICE agents in Minneapolis, for example. Sad situation, but nonetheless, when you're an activist and you get in the way of law enforcement, I don't know what else you can expect. Stop where you are when they say, and, follow direction.
No, Brad, I'm going to stop you right there, Brad. I am so sorry for what you just said. You should apologize immediately because, and I see the face of Pat like, what? Excuse me?
Me
What's
too.
going on? What's going on? I was joking, Pat. You're gonna I got everybody. I was going to say, because I saw a video today, and I know Pat, I like that. I love you, Pat. I was just joking, my
Pat,
friend.
wait till I bring up Charlie.
Are you going to use the convoy example?
Oh, you're gonna have to. You're easy to trigger, Pat. I was joking, but let's get back on track. I saw a nice video today, and Pat, you will be triggered by. I'm gonna send it to you, Pat. Okay, and you'll be like, "What the heck?" And that lady, a queer, she was saying, yes, that ICE agent shot that person because she was a lesbian. Could you imagine that, guys? In that few seconds,
at all. There's been all
those few seconds, that agent had to take the gun out of his holster and shot because he was going to be ran over by that woman. Of course, he had the common sense to say, she's a lesbian. Yes, I'm going to shot at her because of that. Come on. Unbelievable. Probably not.
Mainstream media will make up anything they possibly can. And that's why TP Canada News exists, is so that we get the message right and clear every time. And, we're not going to sit back and tell the lies that the other mainstream is going to tell that tries to sway the public one direction, which is obviously a Democratic or a liberal direction all the time.
Yeah,
I've got
Antifa is violent, though.
I've got a video I just put out on that topic. It's down there. Are you able to share that video? I think this would be great for your people to see a little bit of insight on a little bit of cartoon. It's right beside my face down there. If you're able to share it.
That's where I see mine too, Pat, but it's not happening.
It's not.
Wow.
It's giving me nothing over here.
That's interesting. Okay, well, sorry to interrupt. I was just going to show you something that was very comical. I can play it off. You'll get the gist of it. But if you guys want to hear it, you might want to...
He's shooting a poor woman in Minneapolis. What's wrong with you people?
Oh, so now you guys care about white women. White women that were sexually assaulted and killed by illegals. Not the white woman that was stabbed in a train. Not the white woman that was burned to death by an illegal in New York. Now all of a sudden you guys are crying and enraged and super sad.
You should be ashamed of yourself, ICE agent. She deserves justice. This isn't right.
If she would have succeeded in running me over and killing me, y'all would celebrate my death and start a GoFundMe to get her out of jail.
We don't celebrate anyone's death, and we don't excuse violent crime. Accountability applies to everyone, regardless of politics. Anyways, the victim, she was a mother and had kids.
Really? That argument didn't seem to matter when people were cheering violence toward Charlie Kirk. The empathy shouldn't depend on politics.
Also, why was a single mother out in the middle of the afternoon looking for conflict? Where was the instinct to protect her child? Where was the responsibility to be home, working, raising her kids, building stability instead of chasing drama?
Maybe her kids was at the Somali Learning Center.
But it doesn't open till 2 p.m. Listen, being a victim does not erase bad decisions, and tragedy does not turn recklessness into virtue. That should be a huge takeaway.
Yeah. And if you're a parent, your job is to reduce risk, not run towards it. The fact is, every adult in America knows it is illegal to impede traffic and law enforcement. And Renee Good was an adult who had the ability to reason and follow instructions.
These are not real cops.
Oh, yeah. But when I say a trans woman isn't a real woman, it's a problem.
Just a little video I put out there this morning. So everybody-
Amazing.
That's so funny.
Priceless.
and when you play that in a cartoon setting because we're dealing with children here. So maybe these children might get a little bit of shot of reality when you hear it put in a different manner and in a cartoon-like atmosphere. Because basically, ladies and gentlemen, what it feels like in the last little while is this is a cartoon and it's a bunch of childish shit that's going on. I'm sorry to say, that's my piece on it when it comes to that. But what happened in Minnesota, and you look into the background, because guys like myself can't just take everything for face value, unlike a lot of other people. But I know I'm on a panel of people who are just like, wait, I got to see every angle of this thing. I need to get every piece of the puzzle. And what we're uncovering more and more every day, and what people in the States have been uncovering, is it gets a lot more nefarious. And when you start to see that she moved to Canada after Trump got elected, and then came down and decided she's going to take part in these kind of things. Why is this stuff happening in Minnesota? Somebody explain to that. Why Minnesota? What is it?
Because Minnesota is too woke. It's just
because
too.
of Tim Walz, maybe?
It's like Newfoundland.
Yeah.
We're super woke down here. But you know what? Just to go back to the kids piece for a second. A little while ago, when I was snooping through what was going on in the educational system with the supporting of these drugs that shorten life expectancy, yada, 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 I had a whistleblower inside the system send me all the slideshows. Do you know that they're teaching children between the grade 4 and 6 on how to properly advocate?
Yeah.
Yep.
They're teaching the children in school to be Marxists.
How to be protesters. Yes.
I have
That's
the
why-
slideshows.
Yeah.
I have the slideshows to support everything that I'm saying, and it was provided to me from inside the school. So it teaches them to protect the system that's actually set to harm them. So
That's
that's why
crazy.
you see a lot of young people, like when you look at the our side, you know what I mean? The side that's trying to uphold family, faith, and freedom. Most of us are over the age of, say, 35 and above, right? But when you look at a lot of Antifa and Trans-Tifa, you're getting anywhere from like 17 to say 25.
That's right.
And it's because
And
they've been learning it inside the school system.
Yeah. Since they took the Bible out of schools, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. So maybe we should tell everybody some of our personal experiences. Like Pat, you touched on some of them about what you experienced. So like give us, I think we should talk about it, because when we talk about Antifa, like for a lot of people watching, they have no idea what that is or what that means. So, you know, we know what happened in Toronto a couple of days ago, right? Where 7 Antifa members got arrested for punching police officers in the face. What's been everybody's experience? Maybe we could do a little bit of a round table on that.
I can speak a bit on what Pat was saying. Like, they are violent. They do have weapons, and like I'll go sort of from there. So like I've been to Toronto and I've seen their side of Antifa, but Ottawa is different. It's like Ottawa's more political just as a city, right? They don't even have a Hooters there anymore. That's how political it is. So these people are rampant. And yeah, they have vandalized my car a lot in many different ways, like slow release caps where they mean to get you like later with a flat tire. They've keyed it. They've left swastika stickers. This is just a convoy car, but you know, respectfully, they do that in broad daylight and they don't care.
So crazy. How about you, Patty?
And
What have you been
yeah,
experiencing? Oh, sorry, Sarah. I didn't mean to cut you off, love.
no, that's okay.
Patty
That
is
all
in
happens in the red zone, but you know,
It is the red zone. That's the hot spot. Everybody's afraid of Ottawa, right?
If I can add something for what Sarah just said, like we need to ask ourselves like a simple question. I don't know if Pat, you're going to agree with me. Let's agree to disagree. But if this movement is about justice, okay, simple like this, why the mask? How about that question, guys? Right? Like that simple question. And like you said, Sarah, okay, property destruction, your vehicle, you just mentioned it, okay? Physical confrontation nonstop, like the threat, intimidation nonstop. You said earlier, Pat, doxing private citizen nonstop with different way, you know? Come on, like peaceful protester don't need like to be anonymous like that or like that. This is a criminal behavior. I work with the criminal justice, you know, and that's what I do for a living. I am working in security. I do risk assessment. So to me, when I hear you, Sarah, I'm like, wow, you're the perfect example. And same thing with you, Pat. How Canada is being, you know, managed, organized clearly. And what can we do? We are like almost against the wall, guys.
yeah. And you know how I fought back? I took control back of the situation by gaining the respect of the community around, because I know not everybody is like that. The pizza, the hot dog man, the Parliament souvenir store guy. I took advantage of all the shops around and got to know them, and they would watch the car for me, or, you know, within their means. You know, we would look out for each other. They would, they definitely, those people are on their own, those Antifa members. You know, they don't represent Canadians or the community.
Well, one of the experiences. So I want to chime in on what John said. The reason why they wear the mask, you've seen it uncovered here in Montreal, where I am. It's these guys work for the military. Some of them. You've seen some of the breakdown in the accusations that I'd rather give Alexandra her kudos. I don't want to give the place the kudos, but I'll give her kudos for what she investigated.
Yes,
they
that's
wear
right.
masks
You're right.
because they're paid agitators that have influential. Some are cops, off-duty police officers. Some are security officers. Some are people in educational positions, so they don't want their faces to be out there because they're teachers. A lot of them are government employees that are involved, that are orchestrating a lot of this. Do you know who Angus Reid is here in Canada? He was a former member of parliament. He's no longer a member of parliament, federal member of parliament. Angus, he runs a whole platform on Antifa and how to do. He was calling us Yahtzees and stuff.
Yeah, he's a hate monger.
He is a friggin' monster. But here in Montreal, they have a really high presence of these guys, and they're very well organized to the fact that they have their own communications comms, that a 911 goes out and there's like 10 of them in there saying, I've been exposed, I need help. And then all of a sudden, they coordinate. They were part of the McGill University Free Palestine nonsense, damage to property, violence, infrastructure, all of this kind of stuff. Ottawa, when I first ever got involved with political activism, we got approached in 2019 with about 2,000 Antifa members from Ottawa. And Kean Bexty, good friend of mine, got the Freedom of Information and found out that Justin Trudeau had put out a shout out to send these guys to come and counter protest us. So it directly goes to the Prime Minister of Canada organizing these kind of events and these kind of things. Like, this is embedded deep, and it's just a matter of causing the division. It's a bunch of young kids feeling like they're social justice warriors, and they haven't reached the part of my language, the fuck around and find out in Canada yet. But I know we have patriots in Canada that have already stepped up. A good friend of mine, that's a famous picture, Antifa, pink masks, corked him with a helmet. This was in Toronto back in 2020. We did it in Red Deer. And I'll tell you this, they never came back to Red Deer. They never came back to these events in Toronto after people stood up to these people. I know it sounds like I'm preaching violence and all of this stuff, but no, these are kids that have never ever been spanked as kids. They've never been grounded. They've never had to be in a timeout. You know, they were, what is it?
Last in gym class.
What's that?
Last in gym class.
Yes. And a gentle parenting that came out in the 90s. The gentle parenting in the 90s, these kids, and now they feel that I'm an adult, I can do whatever I want. I never had rules, I never had structure, I never had any of these things. And these kids have been getting away with it forever. So it's ramping up to get like what you've seen in Toronto. So now you're seeing them, they think they can punch cops out. You know, I think I would never punch a law enforcement officer. Well, you know, I'll say that now, but I've definitely had my share of dealings with them. But I still abide by the law, even if I broke the law. I'm going to abide by the law.
You know,
so
Pat,
prove it in court.
There's been a video circulating the last couple of days, Pat. I think we talked about it prior to going on the air in the green room together. And that video is showing a guy taking out like 7 Antifa members by himself and knocking the crap right out of them. And I'm talking TKO that one guy twice, eh?
Yeah,
I saw that video too.
We got him on the road, got him back again. Buddy come back like John Wick. He thinks he's pulling his gloves off. He's coming back for some more, and he folded him like a pack of cards.
He was so late to that punch, it wasn't
lovely.
Even
Lovely.
But that's what I mean is they've gotten away with a lot of stuff, and we see it time and time again, especially with, you know, in Canada, we've allowed it. It's been bred in our school systems. And it is there is an agenda. We know what the agenda is. It's to create that confusion. You got a bunch of kids coming up that they don't even know what's the proper bathroom to go use. They're afraid to hurt somebody's feelings by calling them by their name or hey her or hey him. No, it's these pronouns. Our kids are already confused enough, and now you go throw this at them. Like we got 2 generations of kids that are coming up that are absolutely confused and they don't know what the hell they're doing. And these are our future leaders. This is the second generation after we all fade off in the sunset.
The world has a real mental health issue at the moment, and it's deep embedded into our children because of COVID and because of everything that went on previous over the last 5 years. But it also renders back to 2013 with the trans movement embedding their ideology within our schools. You know, things that we used to handle out on the playground in my day aren't the same. Now it's about, we're going to sit down and talk about it. Let's hear your feelings. Well, you know, my feelings are still the same at 60 years old. If you're going to act that way, you're going to F-A-F-O. And unfortunately, that doesn't have anything to do with a teacher or the school system or your hockey coach even. You know, it's a common respect for each other. And by the time those altercations are done, and you probably know this from your school days, Pat, we'd shake hands, call each other buddies, and we'd probably sleep over at each other's house by, you know, within the next weekend or the weekend after that, we'd be so close. And that respect was earned at that moment, and you didn't have to ever question that. I guess you find out who the head of the pack is, right? And you're either going to be a wolf in that pack or you're going to be the head wolf. One of the two. There's one or the other. And so when you take that beating from that guy who's maybe a little bit tougher, maybe a little bit bolder, maybe a little bit stronger, at the end of the day, he respects you more. You probably don't respect him the same way, but you know what? That respect turns itself around when he shows you that he cares. And that care from that bully, and that's what they called us back then. If you beat somebody up, was you were the bully. That's kind of gone to the wayside now. There's none of that back and forth, that the conflict that kids need to go through to be able to compete in real life. I mean, we're living in a fantasy world.
Well, parents are getting arrested for calling their children by their given names in British Columbia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how are you supposed to discipline your children when most kids will recite 1-800-668-6868 if you tell them you got to take out the garbage? Right?
You can't, and that's what's so funny. These self-governing Zoomers don't even understand what we're fighting, right? It's like,
Well,
we want the way you're acting.
The scariest part is that as time goes by, these younger generations, and I'm not talking about the teenagers, but they're falling into it. But the younger generation, as in the 20-year-olds, they're being taught that it's okay to be violent. And as a result, like that, there's no consequences, no natural consequences. And in many cases that I'm seeing, there's no legal consequences. And as a result, the violence just keeps escalating and escalating and escalating. And I think that's our biggest problem. And I think that's why in the United States, they finally branded it as a terrorist organization, because one, it's organized, it's funded, and two, because it's violent. And Canada needs to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because this is getting completely out of control. It's to the point where people aren't safe. People can't protest because, and I will call them liberal Antifa because they are liberals. They're far left liberal extremists. And our government needs to do something about it. I don't believe they ever are going to do something about it, but that's, in my opinion, that's the only thing that's going to stop it from escalating any further.
Maybe
I
somebody needs to
completely
ask them
agree with
who's
you.
burning our churches down. Right?
We do need to adopt some of those policies up here, and that's one of them. How can we just be neighboring countries like that? They deem them as a terrorist organization. Meanwhile, right next door, we're not. Like, isn't it? It's so bothersome.
In Alberta, with the Alberta independence stuff that's going on, Antifa has publicly admitted that they're going to commit elections fraud. They're going to try and infiltrate and become canvassers and throw the stuff in the garbage or throw the signatures in the garbage. It's insane. It's totally illegal. But this is what I mean by there's never any consequences anymore. There was when I was growing up, especially for stuff like this. There was accountability. There's no more accountability. And that's why they so blatantly will just say it out loud on the internet. Hey, we're going to commit election fraud and we're probably going to be just fine. You know?
Well, hey, get this. Okay. Do you want to know how deeply embedded Antifa is and how orchestrated the Ottawa convoy was? Is the very first time that I got attacked by Antifa was after leaving the Swiss hotel after meeting Danny Bulford. I was 3 feet down the step and I got my first message telling me to go to the Ram Ranch. Right?
Oh,
So
the Ram Ranch. Oh boy.
Even
Oh my
Canada's
God.
most
Purse nuggets.
notorious peacekeeping, beautiful get together of all Canadians. Obviously, somebody in the Swiss hotel was Antifa, right? Because 30 seconds later, I get invited to the Ram Ranch, whatever the Ram Ranch is. We don't
Oh
want
my
to
God.
We don't need the facts on that, Brad.
Oh, that was a campaign by the Ottawa Antifa group. That was just so insane. They would call your phones. They would come into your lives. I would have 80,000, 60,000 people in my lives, and it would be Ram Ranch, and then they would cast up like pornography. They did it in our trials on Zoom.
Yeah, someone
No.
hacked a Zoom. Dina.
On my Zoom.
Yeah.
They
Are you
dropped
serious?
the big black
Whoa.
guy masturbating on my Zoom, and the judge
In the
said,
Wow.
No.
I'm telling you, like this, these
That
guys
doesn't
were,
surprise me though.
there
The
was a
stuff
couple
they do
other
is
people
insane.
that put it on their lives as well, or on their Zooms as well, but they did it to mine. They did it to I can't remember the other guys, but I think they even did it to Deanna Sharif, one of their own. They did it to, so that it couldn't be televised on a Zoom, so that the public couldn't see what she was going through. So it automatically gets the Zoom shut down.
Do you guys know who Hatter is on TikTok? He's a self-proclaimed Antifa member. Hatter.
I haven't heard of
I
Hatter.
don't.
I know if you put in Hatter, it will probably come up, but that's not exactly how it's spelled. But he actually tried to dismantle Turning Point Canada before Turning Point Canada became Turning Point Canada. And I only know this because Turning Point Alberta was already active and we were behind the scenes watching what this guy was doing. He first tried to dismantle us unsuccessfully and then he went for TPCAN. First, what he tried to do was he tried to federally incorporate a nonprofit organization called Turning Point Canada. He filled the application out incorrectly. As soon as you put Turning Point Canada and nothing else, that was incorrect. He wouldn't have ever gotten accepted for that. And as a result, he was denied. But I'll tell you, he was on TikTok making his plans public. He was going to create that Turning Point Canada, and he intended on turning it into an organization against Charlie Kirk. People were sending this guy tons of money to make this happen. It was all there on TikTok, all the comments. But thankfully, when he incorrectly filled out the application and it was rejected, Turning Point Canada was in the middle of actually applying and did it correctly. And so he wasn't able to get it, thankfully, thank God. But I mean, it just goes to show how they scheme. They really scheme to try and dismantle and destroy.
All from their parents' basement.
Yeah,
Literally.
that's right.
No, literally. That's where he lives.
I like
Keyboard
that
warriors.
You know what's even funnier is like they're not all very smart people, okay? I'm watching this unfold. I'm looking at the Incorporations Canada listings regularly, more than once a day, to see what's going on. It shows the guy's address. Like, not that I would be like them and ever give it out, but the idiots are not very smart. Like,
The thing is, masks cause brain damage. It really does deprive the brain of oxygen, and then these things happen. These people.
Well, I credit and Brad brought this up earlier about in school we used to handle things a little different, and then we would become buddies again. And same in our adulthood back in the day as well. You would be in a pub or something, and a guy would step up, and he would, you'd square up with the gentleman, and then you pick him up and you buy him a beer and put it down beside him and say, hey man, like, this is the way, we're all good now, right? You're good, I'm good, we're good. Yeah, no matter what. But what kids didn't deal with growing up is this no bullying. And I'm going to gingerly touch this because both my kids were a product of bullying. And I know that I was a product of bullying in school as well. I went through a lot of it. But bullying taught you to A, shut your mouth, or B, how to stand up for yourself when something was wrong. Correct. And you learned how to stand up for yourself, and it gave you that confidence. It gave you that, okay, this is scary as shit. I'm going to get in a fight, but I got no choice now. And it taught, and then both my kids grew up in the education system where no bullying, and the teachers tried to handle it in-house. And for 3 months they were doing this. My son was going through this stuff. They weren't even conversing with the parent, letting me know. My son came home one day, very smart, very intelligent boy. He got a 52% on a test. And I said, what's this? He says, well, Dad, all the kids are making fun of me because I'm the smartest kid in the class. I said, well, whatever. I said, you don't need to drop your grades just because of a couple boys. And then he told me about how these two kids were bullying him. And I said, well, I've always told you that let them hit you first, hit them back. That's it. End it. Oh, Dad, it's going through the school. So I left it. I didn't want to interfere because I'm very bullheaded and I'd be right into the school. And then all of a sudden I get a phone call not a few days later. Mr. King, you got to come to the school. Your son's being suspended for violence against another student. I said, what? And I go into the school and I'm raging because my boy's a nerd. I say that in adoration. He's very mathematical. He's very smart. He wouldn't hurt a fly. But now I'm hearing he didn't just beat up one kid. He beat up two. And I was
good for him.
What? And I get into the principal's office and he says, well, we've been trying to deal with this in-house. And I said, so this has been going on forever. And you guys, we figured we could deal with it. And I said, now you're going to suspend my son because he finally stood up for himself to two bullies? He didn't tell me it was two. And he said, yeah, he hurt the one kid pretty bad, put him on the ground, and then he did something else to the other kid. And I looked at him, I said, so you guys have been trying to deal with this. My son goes through this. Now you're going to suspend my son? He says, yeah, well, for 3 days, yeah. And I said, no, you can't be suspending my son. Then the police liaison officer comes in. And he's going, oh, no, it was there. We saw it. Blah, blah. I said, fine, kiddo, grab your bags, grab your books. You're going to have the most funnest 3 days of your life. Let's go. And I took him out. We went to the mall. We went shopping. We went ate because my son learned, and it only had to happen once. He had to stand up for himself. The kids stopped bullying him. He got respect in the school again. And life went on.
It was
But
a
this is
day. It
something
was
that
a
our
day
kids
of
haven't
change,
learned.
wasn't it?
What's that?
It was a day of change, wasn't it?
It was like his rite of passage. You know,
Yeah,
it was
that's
that
right.
moment where he felt that I'm confident in myself.
The light bulb goes off just like that, and all of a sudden you're no longer cowering in the corner. You're actually empowering yourself, and that moment is a defining moment for any male. Every male, and I'm not saying that females don't go through that in their own way, but I'm just not a female, so I can't express what you go through. But
Are you
for
sure
a
you
man,
could be if you wanted to? You could be these days. I'm kidding.
yeah.
Sorry to cut you
But
off.
that challenge, it's stepping up and challenging. I mean, we took it to the extreme where fisticuffs got involved. Girls, not so much back in our day. You know, they'd argue, they'd yell, they'd cat scrap together, but that was as far as it ever went. Now, today, I see more girls fighting than guys.
Yeah.
What's up with that, Dana?
Well, it's
Or
like
Raven?
this now. We've got the girls that don't know if they're boys, and the boys that don't know if they're girls. I mean, I've been attacked by a 6 foot tall transgender person who was dressed as a devil lobster, and yeah.
Oh my God.
But you know what? My thoughts were
Devil
he had
lobster.
he had some pretty big heels on. So all I figured, if I knocked him over, he'd be about my size. Well, that's the problem. It's like everything is so blurred in regards to sports. Look at what's happening with women's sports. You know what I mean? Look at what's happening in the jails. You know, all of those things. And women are nasty. I mean, I always used to say when somebody'd give me trouble, especially like big trouble, because I've been doing this for a long time, I'm like, never underestimate me because I'm a girl. Because
I
do you know,
almost said
I
like
know-
that's what she said.
I know that you sleep, right? I know that you sleep. So I think the biggest thing that we have going on is that with the gender part and boys versus girls, I think boys are becoming more feminine and women in that role are now being forced to become more masculine. Like a lot of men tell me like, "Oh, I'm waiting for, you know, things to happen." I'm like, "You got no balls." Right? I'm sorry. If you're going to sit down and wait for the Gestapo to knock on your door and have something bad happen to your children, you know, it's too late. So women are becoming more masculine, men are becoming more feminine, and that's why you see a lot of women on the forefront, right? Like on this panel, we're 50-50. We're half women and half men. If we were back in
love
the Second World War, that would never happen. We'd be home like knocking out babies and baking muffins, right?
That's
Instead,
misogynistic. That you can't be that way. You're a misogynist.
I would
Right?
love to be that. I would love to be that, right?
No, but
You're
women,
not allowed.
women, when we were younger, women could, and when my mom was younger, women could be feminine, but still have everything equal and still do tomboy stuff. And it was normal, you know, but we could do it in our feminine way. And at the same time, masculinity wasn't considered toxic. It was normal. Now everybody's being told to be something that they're not, you know?
Well, that's how you win the war, right? You got
Yeah.
you got people over in China showing the grade 6 students how to stack bullets in a 9mm, and in Canada they're learning how to do at-home sex play, right? That's what we're doing as the opposite sex. So
They're being taught sexuality, like not sexuality like we were when we were in school. I'm talking disgusting stuff. They're teaching how to masturbate and stuff in school. And I'm not talking about high school. I'm talking about like before junior high. It's seriously fucked up. You know,
Are you
children that aren't
serious?
even thinking about sexuality.
Can I show this on here with
yes,
you guys?
yeah.
You guys
Let's
want to
go.
see this?
Please. Oh yeah, they knocked. He
Okay,
got.
so I want to
He
give a little
knocked them
backstory.
out. I
I
love
want to
it.
give a little backstory to this, and I want you to watch the way Antifa works. Now, I'm not going to say I'm condoning this, but it is kind of a feel-good moment when I watch it. So trust me when I say this.
I'll take it,
What
Pat.
they
I'll take it
do-
for you.
What they do is they push you to that point. But now when you see the results of no bullying in school over the last 2-3 generations now of educators, educated kids coming out, you're seeing the result of heading up to gentlemen like myself or Brad or John or the girls here. This is how it's going to be 1 against 6. like in his ear. Look at him shoving the siren right in his ear.
That's happening now in schools.
And it always happens, yeah. But they push him.
They're chasing him.
Boom.
1. Oh, like a light.
2.
And not a 1.
Here comes the guy in the helmet.
3.
Oh
4.
gosh.
Blowing rape whistles even.
I swear, Pat, if
Here
you
comes
and I
the guy
were
with the
together,
umbrella.
Red coat.
Watch
He
this.
John Wick.
He doesn't even get his hands up.
Folded like
Ready?
a pack of cards.
You're
Oh,
out.
oh, you're out.
You're out too.
I'm not
I think
going
he was
somewhere with
left-handed.
Pat. It's going to be a massacre.
He's an absolute southpaw. But this is what I mean. I want people to understand this. Okay, this is where they're pushing you to. Okay, when we sit here and we say, "Oh, but that's violence. You shouldn't be violence to people." Ladies and gentlemen, he is screaming in their ear with a megaphone. He's chasing him around. He's putting his hands on this person, and he's in a situation where he's surrounded because they feel that they're intimidating, and they just messed with the wrong American flag waving American citizen.
And it's self-defense. We still do have that law here so far.
You
Yeah,
don't
they say
have to
we're-
do anything. If you just show up with a cane corso, well, then, I'd like to see them try and get close to you with one of those. Just saying.
If
It's
my dogs
unfortunate
weren't
that we have to
so,
do that, though.
if
right?
my dogs weren't so passive, I'd be able to walk in with a 240-pound English Mastiff and a purebred XL bully, and I'd walk right in the crowd. But I wouldn't put my dogs in that mess. They'd go after my dog, because if they kick my dog, well, then I'm going to jail for 25 to life.
I wouldn't put it past Antifa to harm an animal.
I'm just
That
going to
would be
say
my
this. and
concern,
I'm not
is that my
asking
animal
anyone
would get hurt.
to agree with me, Dana and Pat. But I'll say once upon a time was when I was a correctional officer, there's inmates. I'll say this. Yeah, I know, Pat. But there's inmates, they do not understand with words. You get what I'm saying, guys? You do understand, right? And when they throw Kleenex in the camera to be sure we won't see anything, that was my best moment. The best time I had with those guys, like a real chit chat, mano to mano. And sorry, guys, again, to use those words, but violence sometimes, and I'm not telling anyone to use this, but violence sometimes is necessary. Sorry, guys.
Well, it's written in the Constitution of the United States, and actually some very famous people have written it, that sometimes it takes a few good men to do a few bad things to right the wrongs.
Yep, exactly.
And they look at that, oh, you're just a violent fearmonger, but those expressions, those sayings, they've come from situations that really revolutionized and changed our landscape that we live in.
Civil War isn't sitting down and talking about it. Civil War is something totally different, and you remember it from the 1800s, and here we are today facing that same challenge. And how are we going to deal with it? They've pre-programmed everybody to be so passive now that there's no, people say men got to grow some balls, and we got to find the real men in this country to stand up to what's going on.
You gotta get my
there's plenty of men.
first.
I know there's plenty of men out there that are like that, guys, but the reality is the younger generation who we're fighting for needs to step up with us. It's not just going to be us. And that was one of Charlie's messages I thought was very important, that he was really engaging the youth, whether it was college, university, high school. That cooperation and that level of effort by Charlie to engage, I think really transformed America to being where it is today after 5 years of COVID hell. And I think that the like here in Canada, we're still stuck in the past because nobody's preached that message yet. We're still not connecting in a way that's going to unify us. That division, that Civil War aspect of this is still raging strong in Canada for some reason. And it's exactly what the World Economic Forum and the UN want.
Yeah.
I just want to jump in there with you just to talk on the same topic about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is the reason why America woke up. He is single-handedly responsible for the shift that happened in the United States. And even Donald Trump has said he doesn't think he would have won the election without Charlie Kirk's help. You're right. He penetrated the youth. That's exactly what we have to do in Canada. What he did worked, and that's exactly where we need to put our efforts into, because our youth are not being taught the multi facets of everything. They're only being taught one view, and that's why they're all growing up to be liberal. And we need to do like Charlie Kirk did. We need to penetrate them, and we need to educate them so that they have all of the information, because they are not getting all of the information. And that's why the liberals and the progressives are winning and growing and gaining more and more support, because they're
Wait a minute.
keeping them shielded from our side.
They're not winning. We don't even say that. They're not allowed to win.
Yeah,
Right?
no. Yeah.
No.
They don't win. They have this visual that they're winning, but that is also because they have the media in their pocket. We learned just in doing what we've done here in Canada that they are the actual true fringe minority. When the numbers were there, they were nowhere to be found. But when you're in a small group and small numbers, they will show up, and they'll show up and outpower you. I think what they saw in Toronto just recently, over the weekend, I think they realized that the force is a little bit bigger now for Canadians feeling the power that, hey, I can say that I don't want this happening in my country, and I want this all over, and I want this to stop. And these people are saying, this mass immigration is not working for Canada. And when they stand up for that, and you get this backlash, you get what you get in Toronto. It's like the saying that they from Deliverance: some men you just can't reach.
And like what happened in Toronto there is exactly a reminder of the Freedom Convoy. That's what gets most Antifa members all riled up. That's what, turns their crank, It's that. So when they see that like Joe and his entire movement are contained in control of their emotions and demonstrating a peaceful protest, and the police are kind of taking their side, and they're protecting them from the crazy like counter protesters, it just reminds them of what happened for 3 weeks, and it makes them all frazzled, just because I'm sure that's what it reminds them of, is just how that went on for as long as it did. Those people probably wanted the Emergencies Act declared day one, and it didn't, because and that's just maybe a bad analogy, but you know what I mean. Like, they are just always the victim. And I was watching that in the YouTube, and yeah, some of them are trying to hold their line, and it's not working for them. You can see as clear as day who's peaceful and who's not, and yeah, they seem shocked. Like, yeah, I think they're losing it.
Can we talk a little bit more too about how they're funded, right? How is the money getting to the various organizations? I heard it was through the Heritage Fund of Canada.
Like, they're totally government funded, right? Like, if you go to the LCBO, or if you go to any government pot shop, there's the pedo flag, there's the progressive pride flag there that they completely stand behind, and their employees wear it as a badge. And so, I mean, gosh, they're definitely funded beyond means and measure.
Well, I know
and they're funding both sides. Go ahead, Pat.
Some of the funding, the NDP is very into the grants, and they'll pull grants out and then hide them in, well, Canada's very well known for shell corporations, and they'll hide the money where they need it. And then these members of parliament have access to it. And when they need a campaign, they need like the Palestinian movement, or they need the LGBTQ Rainbow Mafia movement. They allocate funds to pay these protesters. A gentleman just showed it, paid protesters showing up at events. They've been showing up at, a lot of political events across Canada. They get this money, they bust them in, and they pay them to do this. So the NDP, I found in Alberta, is very deeply embedded in doing this. Janice Irwin, Rachel Notley, all of that's where I speak on. I'm in Montreal now, but I know that they have a huge presence here, and I can speak to any any person in Quebec, and they'll agree that their provincial parliament is extremely corrupted. And they're saying the same thing. Like when we were here for the Sarah, were you here when we did the march here in Montreal back when there was 500 people on the streets?
Was that 2021?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the Antifa thugs at the end showed up once the crowds had dispersed, and their law enforcement don't mess around here. They were pepper spraying them and rubber bulleting these guys and pushing them around. Then you've got McGill University. What they did at the McGill University was absolutely horrendous. What they did in Ottawa, were you there at the one in Ottawa where they, you seen all of that mess too?
Yeah. They also did a little demonstration in Ottawa at my old public school. So, I mean, I'm 44, but I attended a public school in Ottawa on Broadview Avenue and a high school down the road called Nepean. But they had an Antifa rally there at my old school. And I thought, wow, I used to ride my bicycle here. And I couldn't believe that they would have or even entertain them. But there they were on their property. And my Wellington Street regulars and Rebel Heart members were on the opposing side, countering this violent group of terrorists and we interviewed the students. And the students professed that they didn't like what was happening at all. So, yeah, it's terrible that it hit home like that, right in my community.
Well, here they're actually giving them high paid positions. So Hassan Hai is a failed Liberal candidate who originally, I met him in about 2015, maybe. We were both on the same radio shows. I've actually got pictures standing next to him. When he was the Murbai, I was doing.
Was he in his mermaid suit?
I actually have a picture of him and I in the same picture on a radio show talking about being good Samaritans on VOCM. Anyway, full on Antifa, self promoting as Antifa. He just got a position in government controlling $25 million. And he sits on a bunch of different boards for government. So some of them are not being incentivized with direct funding or through various grants and stuff. Some of them are actually getting positions within government itself, which is interesting, or managing government money, right? Evil. Well, we've hit an hour, so I don't.
Can you show, do you have any of the footage of the Antifa, the violent attacks from the Canada First rally a couple days ago?
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it over. You guys continue. I'll see if I can make it move over here. Hold on.
One of the things I was going to say is you also have outside non-government organizations that are deeply, when they got a campaign that they need to influence, they will also pay these politicians or have them partake in, encouraging people to go to these rallies. You've seen it a lot during the PPC route when PPC was trying to make a run for it. They would be at the PPC rallies, and they were even attacking old women, like our elderly people in the crowds. And I think I've seen law enforcement starting to understand who these people are in Canada. Edmonton was the first time I ever saw law enforcement actually arrest Antifa members for badgering and attacking people in protests. Toronto, it wasn't like what I saw in Toronto just this weekend. That's the first time I've seen law enforcement get involved. Now, obviously, he was struck by that one Antifa member. There was a lot more incidences, and Karima Syed, I have to give it to her. Okay, Karima was not my friend. She was a far.
What happened to her, eh?
Right. She was a far left leaning, always on the left, wanting to push the inclusivity and all of the DOI or whatever the stupid stuff that is. um, and she would be consistently going at them. And now she's switched.
Yeah.
And the stuff that she's uncovered, because they turned on her, because she was like, wait a minute, I got a question. These guys aren't that bad. Why such a hate on these people? And she caught some more. And one of the guys was a former mayoral candidate for one of the cities within the Greater Toronto area. And he walks up to somebody in the crowd, and she's got it. He walks right up and he just smashes him in the face with his elbow as he's walking by. And I was watching these videos and I was like, wow. And you see the cops on it right away. And you're seeing the cops in Toronto are starting to get these guys and put them up against the wall and put the cuffs on them. You didn't see
I've
that.
noticed that too. Yeah, and they seem to be increasingly getting more frustrated because they're seeing the truth. They're seeing who the violent ones really are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Karima, do you remember when she used to be, you remember that, Pat? Like the side that she was on. And I can actually remember trying to get her to be on the right side of history and having a chat with her inside the bubble bus. And I talked to her just one-on-one, just to, and just to see where where her head's at now is amazing how, unless it's not real, right? I'm just saying, like, she
Well,
People
seems like
change
she's
though.
changed.
Once they have all the information, people do change. I'm one of them. First of all, I was never conservative. I can't say I was like fully liberal, but I was definitely more progressive than I was conservative prior to the pandemic. The pandemic woke me up. I'd say I was already a little bit awake, but the pandemic woke me wide awake and pushed me straight over to the conservative side. But when the war started in Gaza, between Gaza and Israel, I fell full flat on my face with the manipulation. And I was screaming for the children of Gaza, like at the atrocities. And there were atrocities, no doubt about it. But until I started getting all of the right information and I realized, whoa, man, like I'm on the wrong side here. It's these people, they want to kill everybody who's not Muslim. Then they really do want to kill everybody that's not Muslim. They want to kill the Jews. They've been wanting to do it for a long time. And that's why things are the way that they are over there. And then when people started screaming death to Canada in the Canadian marches that they were doing for Palestine, that's when I was like, whoa, wait, like what? Why are you saying those things? Why are you saying death to Jews and death to Canada? And then anyways, the point is once you get all of the information, you change, right? Well,
Yeah.
most people.
Hey,
Maybe
Yeah,
not
you
really.
got to leave a little bit of wiggle room for just in case people do change, don't
Mm.
burn all the bridges, and be ready and welcome with open arms to receive these people that do want to finally come on this side, right?
Hey, Pat,
Is-
left wing, right wing, same damn bird.
Same
Yeah.
bird, absolutely.
Same bird,
yeah.
you guys. Come on now. This is the reality of what we're facing here. It doesn't matter whether they're conservative or liberal. It's not about that anymore. It's just about the same bird. One bird, two wings, and we're
yeah, no,
not
I
we're
didn't
not
mean
part of it.
politically. I didn't
Yeah.
mean politically. I meant on the right side of history, and yeah, that could
sure.
be
I know.
nothing to
I
do.
know what you meant, but that bird analogy is something that people are just starting to figure out because they've gone down that rabbit hole, and you don't really figure that out until you've gone down and seen what we've all seen in the last 5 years. And we went looking for it. Others don't have the time to go looking for it. Don't want to believe people like us for whatever reasons. I say the stuff that I say because nobody else is willing to say it. So does Pat King. and if somebody doesn't do that, and Raven for that matter too, but if we don't start doing that, we're going to get nowhere. We have to get people to engage. And again, we can't be swayed by distraction of left wing, right wing. It's got to come together as just right and wrong,
That's
not
it.
left and right. Right
That's
and
it.
wrong,
I've got
morals,
some-
ethics, the things
That's
that
correct.
Charlie stood for, you guys.
Yeah.
Well,
I've got
one of
some
the things
clips coming.
One of the things that I've noticed is like you said it, you nailed it right there when you said it's both the same wing. I've reached out to many people on the left-leaning side of things, and I've actually brought many over, and they see a different side of things now, and they're starting to understand how things are laying out now. And I see that I can break somewhat bridge that gap when I just look at them and I say, you know what? I don't hate you. I hate that the propaganda machine has fed you and turned you into this person. the same way you feel that it's done the same thing to me. But once you start to realize there's one root cause to this whole problem, and that is the government. It is them. It's neither a left, it's neither a right. It's both sides that are playing the game. And they're feeding the conservatives everything they want to hear, and then the liberals are feeding, and the Democrats or whatever, how Republican Democrats, no matter which way you want to look at it on both sides of the border here. But it's the same way. They utilize them at specific times. But if everybody would just understand, it's not us against each other, it's them versus us. Yep. And as soon as we can all agree that it's them versus us, I think then you'll start to see people gather and get that unity back.
I like to say oligarchy versus peasants, Pat.
Well, eventually, Brad, the peasants do rise in every historic.
That's right.
Well,
they always rise. There's a change in the monarchy, and here we go.
I come back to your efforts, Pat, to be Robin Hood over the last 5 years, just to take from the rich and make sure the poor know about it. It's an information thing. It wasn't about money like Robin Hood, but information-wise, you were the guy that stood in Alberta, and I saw you on the Parliament steps. You didn't leave for how many months?
We were there for 30 days. We didn't leave. And
Dana, you have something to show us, huh?
Yeah, I have some clips just because some people don't really understand what happened. I've got a 2-minute and 44-second. If you guys don't mind, I'd like to show Canada.
But it is definitely time for us to rise, though. We need to rise, ladies and gentlemen, on both sides.
Because, Pat, Muslim values are Canadian values, right?
Right. Right? Aloha snack bar. Aloha snack bar.
Okay, let's go.
I'm learning my Muslim.
Oh, shit. Holy shit.
What was that? Holy shit.
That was a good start.
Holy shit.
Oh, shit. Holy shit. I can't even get over there. Shit. Oh, thanks. God damn it. I almost fell. This is the craziest we've ever seen. Yeah. Oh, shit. Holy shit.
Technical difficulties.
This is the craziest we've ever seen. Yeah.
I don't know.
They literally are. What the hell? They're not even moving out of the way. Yeah. Oh, shit. Holy shit.
One more time.
I can't even get over there. Shit. This is the craziest we've ever seen.
I think it's the government.
I think he did use the word
They
shit.
literally are. What the hell?
Shit, I think it's the government. Damn
Well, that was a different
punches the officer.
Go.
Whew. Okay, we're back, I guess.
You made it. You did it, Dana. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you learn that. All good. All good. Hey, we were all rookies at one point.
Wow, I just want to say one thing before I go, and that
This is the craziest we've ever seen. Yeah. They literally are. What the hell? They're not even moving out of the way. Holy shit, he hit the cop. Oh my God, he hit the cop. He hit the cop. Holy shit. The guy hit the cop. Back up. Holy shit!
For Canadians that are watching that didn't get to see these video clips, just to give some context, there was a peaceful march going down the street and it was guided by the police. Not only was it guided by the police, there was hundreds of officers involved with this. They were police officers on the sides, and at the back they were followed by horses, police horses or RCMP horses. I think it was city police horses because I think they have that in Toronto now. And the Antifa, they got in the way of the police to stop this peaceful march from continuing down the road. And they were stopping the police from going forward. And that's why the police were getting so frustrated. You can't stop a law enforcement officer from walking down the road. And that's what they were doing. And then somebody actually hit them in the face.
And just for the record, I got called, I lost somebody because I shared that protest's flyer. So no, I didn't go, but I do plan on attending the next one. And for that, I lost somebody. They personally sent me a message and attacked me and sent me a copy of that flyer and said, here, I remade it for you. And they put a swastika on it. So they accused me of being a Nazi for being in support of this mass immigration protest. That's how bad and toxic and divided it is here.
Pat, the police weren't beating on the Canadians carrying hockey sticks with flags.
For a change.
Yeah, I was surprised. They had their backs to us.
I think it's important for us to use the right verbatim.
Got no mic there,
Mass
Pat.
immigration against illegal immigrants, so that people understand
that's one thing that I spoke about on Parliament Hill. I had a tiny little speech about how we don't hate immigrants, we hate the mass immigration policy, and it's absolutely true.
Maybe Dana muted you, Pat.
No, he's talking with her as we speak right now, guys.
Just so you guys know, that was Dana. I was just on the phone with her. It just dropped. Her screen's dropped down, so she's trying to get signed back in again.
Well, Pat, can you do me a favor and tell her I say to have a good night and that I'll sign off?
You can tell her yourself. I think she's coming in right now.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't know if she's having. There she is.
Oh, there she is.
Like literally, like check this out. My screen got taken over. It started flashing between
It's
two
Antifa.
videos.
No, it's Antifa.
It's Antifa.
There you go.
They kicked me out. They started playing bad videos. Fuck you.
That's right. Let's do
Dana's
it.
always the target. I'm not joking. Like,
Always.
for real.
Dana, I'm gonna say goodbye.
Yeah, we're all gonna go
Goodbye,
now. It's
Sarah.
bedtime.
Oh.
It's 12 o'clock
Oh,
at night
okay.
in Newfoundland. It's long
Gee.
past my bedtime. I love
But
you
thank
all.
you for having me on.
Thank you, Sarah.
And it was nice to meet all of you. And except for Pat, I already know you.
Wow. You feel special now. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I've been around, right? Got my name out there pretty good. So, but Sarah and I have been on the front lines together in Toronto and in Ottawa.
Awesome.
And we've all been through the ringer once or twice.
It was nice talking with you, Pat and Sarah. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure talking to you. Thank
Absolutely.
you. I hope you all have a good night and God bless.
I have one question for the panel before we do sign out. So, what is TP Canada, and what are you guys? What's going on with this?
John?
That's a John question.
Why me, guys? You're always putting me on the spotlight. God damn it.
Well, why don't you read out the mission statement to begin with? That's a good place to start. The mission statement really spells it out nicely.
I do believe so. I mean, I wasn't prepared for that question. I'm sorry. But all I'm going to say, guys, I'm going to repeat those 3 words. I'm not going to read the whole mission, obviously. But faith, family, and freedom. This is what I believe in. And I think we lost, I mean, Canadian in general, even American, Pat, and I hope you'll agree with me on that one. But we slowly got brick by brick by the woke ideology. They took away our roots. the meaning of what we are exactly. And when and I'm going to repeat this again, Dana and Brad, but when I saw Charlie Kirk, it happened to me before. I lost someone in front of me. It was a tragedy. It was like pretty a horrible situation. There's no word to describe what happened to Charlie Kirk exactly, but I'm going to say this: it brought back to me something, a feeling I had to, where are we going all together, Canadian? And this is the reason, the true reason, not for the fame, Pat. No, like, oh, hey, did you see me on YouTube or whatsoever? But it was more like, I need to do something to give back to Canadian. Okay, I need to do something for my neighbor. Hey, neighbor, how are you doing, guys? Because every time I'm going to, I do travel a lot on the US side for purpose, like business purposes. There's something they still have, like in their fiber, is to say good morning, how are you doing, to talk to each other, and we lost that thing, that value all Canadian had before. I'm 48 years old, Pat. Okay, I'm 48 years old. So
We're the same age.
There you go, man. So when I was younger, like let's say 20 years old or 30 years old, I had that feeling we were more like all together, like we were capable to connect, and not anymore. And I want to bring that back with you guys as a team. And that's my wish. Okay. That's my wish for TPCAN. That's the mission, to bring all Canadian together. That's all.
I'm with that.
I'm with that. I can agree with that. I was just wondering because you know there is a push for everybody to just come together and stuff, and I was wondering what your mission was. What's your goal with this? Because if that's the case, I'm all about bringing people together, and I can help promote if you guys need a hand or whatever you need in moving forward. I'll help share all your stuff. I don't share people's stuff to my pages, but I'll definitely do what I can to make sure that it gets out there.
I would be happy to build something with you, Pat. Okay. And again, I didn't do this, or I didn't jump into trademarks to buy the name just to later on to make business out of it. Yeah, for sure, a little bit. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. God damn it, man! Like everybody has to make a living, but the first thought I had is pay it forward. That's it. Pay it forward. I want to help. I just want to help. I want to stop the bullshit of wokeist ideology they're shoving in our goddamn throat, man. Simple.
Yes.
Okay. We're fed up.
$400 million was allocated in the budget to change government verbiage in their documents over to more gender neutral talk.
Exactly. That is insane. It's madness.
$400 million to change the wording in political documentation. Are you kidding me? Wow.
That helps someone somewhere to pay the crime. Like who's taking care? That serves someone for sure. Obviously, to stay in power, the liberal in the first place. But Brad said something earlier about the left and the right. They're almost the same. They are the same. I'm sorry, I'm a conservative. Okay, I am, but I'm not. I'm never going to be a NDP or a liberal. Hell no, guys. It's simple like that. Thank you.
Where'd Pat go?
Turning Point
Pat
Canada is,
I'm telling you, my computer, like right now, things are popping up on my screen and disappearing on my screen. And Pat ended up out for a second.
He's back.
In.
He's back.
I can also speak to TPCAN's mission as well.
Please, Patty.
Yeah, so TPCAN is a nonprofit organization that has been legally incorporated in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death. We plan to try and make as many changes as we can across Canada through public debate like Charlie Kirk, through political exposure. And this is all based on Faith, Family, and Freedom, TPCAN's foundation. We plan on, there's a lot of things that we plan on doing. Backdoor planning, community building. We have an amazing man named Anil on board with us. He has He's a very intellectual person. He has a lot of ideas for TPCAN. A lot of information will be coming out in the next little while. We're just in the middle of still building things. That's going to take a long time. But through education to the public as well, the public can't know what's going on unless things are exposed to them. So that's going to be one of the center points of TPCAN, Turning Point Alberta as well.
What's your take,
Maybe,
Brad?
There's a lot of
yeah.
controversy with Turning Point USA. We all know that. And one of the things that gets a little bit convoluted as we move forward is people's impression, or I guess reputation, that we carry as we move forward. And that reputation, again, is not based on the foundation of TP USA or Turning Point USA and their business ethics or their business morals or what's going on behind the scenes. Turning Point Canada is fresh, and it's founded around the principles of what Charlie Kirk originally brought to the table, which wasn't about the things that we're seeing in the press now. And that is where Canada, I think, has a chance to really engage with what Charlie's clear message was from the start, which was he was there to provide conversation which wouldn't have taken place without him engaging it to begin with. And that conversation, whether it's on a university campus, in a great big auditorium or an arena, it doesn't matter. The conversation is what matters. The talking, the having that discussion, hard talks, the hardest you could possibly imagine. You're talking about trying to convince people to switch their way of thinking, and that's the hardest thing in the world to do. So at the end of the day, without discussion, we can't convince anybody to do anything. We can't sway them. We can't bring them in. We can't have them believe the facts until that discussion happens. And Charlie was the one who created that. And if we do that as an organization, I think that's going to be the most successful part of the whole thing. It's not about the money. It's not about the time or the effort that we put in as volunteers to try to keep this all operational. It's and nobody here has asked for money yet, have they, John?
Is he here still?
I thought he was. He's above my picture, but
Yeah,
maybe
I
he's
see
not.
him there. Can't hear you,
Yeah.
John.
Sorry guys, I got cut off. Can you repeat that again? No, I'm not going to ask you to repeat that again. But all I'm going to say, I am full throttle. I'm going to help you guys the best I can. And one thing, I don't want to have the last line, but for the topic we were talking tonight, if you have to hide your face to push your politics, maybe it's not just justice you're fighting for, guys. Don't you think?
Is this a kind of a move where you're going to go to these events where these Antifa kids are, or to these universities where you're going to sit and discuss, and you're going to have debates and all that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. We have to. I do
You
believe
would be
we
a
have
great
to.
candidate for that, Pat.
You know that I'm and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but
No.
I'm a really good debater.
Yes, let's go. Let's do it. Jump.
Yeah,
Well,
giddy
let's
up,
get
buddy.
you on
Giddy up.
board.
I always say, one of my saying is, you may hate me, but you can never debate me.
And you love to
I
travel,
could.
don't you, Pat?
I absolutely love to travel, Brad. You're absolutely correct. So does
right.
my lovely wife as well, and she's very fluent in French. And I think this is
Oui,
something
oui.
that she would be able to maybe lead a Montreal segment here.
I hope she teach you a little bit. Oui.
Oh, ouais, she taught me lots of French. Je parle français un peu, mais je parle français comme ci, comme ça.
Comme ici, comme ça. You're pretty good,
Where's your
actually.
latest
Yeah.
out the back?
I like it. Good.
Comment ça va?
Ça va,
You're
bien,
almost
toi?
you're almost a frog. You're almost a frog.
No.
I'm a newfie.
No,
Try
just
being
kidding.
that. You got to say, Dita,
Right.
yes, me old cocklog, make your big jib draw. If you can say that.
I think if you ever met my fiance, you would find her one of the most classiest and most articulated person when it comes to learning and being empathetic to these types of people.
Okay.
I look forward to talking to you guys a little bit more.
Me
It was-
too. I think that
It was a pleasure, Pat. It was a pleasure.
You
Yeah,
bet, guys.
great to meet you tonight.
great to see everybody. And I think TPCan, why I'm here, is because I'm tired of our churches burning down. I'm tired of our youth being misinformed. I'm tired of politics that I don't agree with being shoved down my throat. I'm tired of policies and bills and bullshit that has our employees up in Parliament seem to keep funneling our way. And I'm only one little person in Newfoundland that might not be able to make a difference on my own. So I'm here to meet wonderful people like on this panel that are watching, that might have something to contribute, so we can go tell the bad guys that they're all fired, finally.
I would love to be the guy that hands out 338 pink slips in the House of Commons
Yeah.
and just be like, "Hello, you're cool. You're not. You're a dick. You're a loser. All right, you're all right."
I like it.
Have you guys
That would
seen
be
some of
awesome.
those
That, and I'd say,
videos
Pat
from
said
the
so.
United States where they're protesting? It's a quiet protest. It's a secret protest in like their House of Commons where someone stands up with a sign and starts shouting what they want to shout. And then they kick him out. And then 2 seconds later, another guy stands up with a sign. And then 2 seconds later, they kick him out. And then another guy. And then another. Have you guys seen those videos? I'd love to do that. I would love to do that.
It's a
I
free
would-
country.
I
We
would,
can do whatever we want.
Let's do it.
I think these conversations might generate rather well. I think we're going to. I like it.
We need to
New
get
ideas.
loud. We need to be
Okay,
bold,
there you go.
right? That was
I'll-
Charlie Kirk's motto. Be bold. Be bold. Let's get bold. Let's get loud. That's what
One of the
TPCan wants
things,
to
though,
do.
that I may want to request is I definitely am not putting a mic piece near my neck.
Oh.
No mic pieces for any of us.
But
I'm just
I
saying.
can assure you something, Pat.
I'll
I
hold the
have-
microphone.
No. But I have two security agency. Okay, so we have like a VIP guy who can surround you, the same
Oh.
way. Yes.
Oh, if you're going that way, then I feel a little bit better. Yeah.
Yes, it's a promise.
Yes.
If you want to, if you,
Right? We've been in this mess before, right, Sarah?
yes. I can assure you, it's real, authentic security agency. I do own. I have one Aboriginal one and another one who was built by me. I have over 15 years in security purposes, different kind, not just security guards who are watching a door, if you get what I'm saying. So if we come to an agreement, you and I, and even you, Sarah, if you want to jump in, I can assure you, if you go out there on campus, university, you will have I will have your 6. There you go.
Awesome.
Gotcha.
Well, it looks like a lot of conversations are going to need to happen. This is exciting for people watching for sure, because you're seeing
Yahoo!
history in the making,
Yahoo!
right?
Absolutely.
The unifying of the A team, but we have to go because it's like almost 1
Are
o'clock
we?
in the morning. It's 1
Oh,
o'clock in the morning
Jesus.
almost in
No.
Newfoundland.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Look at
My
me.
fault.
Before you go, we
You can blame
should
me,
just put
Damon.
out a call to action since this is going to be going public. For anybody out there watching this stream, if you would like to get involved with TPCan, please email because we need you. We need bold people. We would love to have you join our team from whichever province you're in. Please email join@tpcan.ca.
Also, I just have to add this. We have also the owner of the security company, Elite Security Canada. The owner is Pete Anisheim. So he's a part of the movement as well. So he will work on the operation level, on the national level. So again, whoever wants to go out there on campus, maybe you, Pat, you want to debate, you will have a chance to be surrounded by solid guys.
Well, I'm presently, and I'm sorry to take your time. I know, Dana, it's getting late, but
Sorry,
I'm presently
sorry,
on
Dana.
tour.
My God.
It's okay.
I'm leaving next week for Victoria, British Columbia. I'm speaking at an event out there. That would be a great opportunity where you guys might want to see some of the stuff that's going on in Victoria, British Columbia, and then I'll be back. I'm on holidays, and then in Alberta in February. So,
Okay.
like you said, Brad, I do love to travel. I also am looking at going to England to speak with Tommy Robinson and a bunch of other ones in May. It hasn't
So
been
are we?
solidified yet. That hasn't been solidified yet, but I will be going hopefully over to England in May to speak on what we've been dealing with on over here with a bunch of millions of UK members. So there's some big things happening in my future, and I would love to have you guys on board with that.
We were supposed to join Tommy in a couple of days out in London. I know Jamie's on his way there, the guy that did that video at the beginning of the episode tonight, and he's looking forward to that. I kind of wished I could go too, but
Jamie's my best. Do you know Jamie's my best friend, Brett?
No, I didn't know that. I did not. That's great. I had no idea, man.
Fantastic, then.
Are you guys like? Is he in Montreal too?
No, he's in parts unknown, but he's Jamie and I have been at this for years. Jamie and I are tight. Like I could text him right now and he'll come.
Well, that's great. He's a great guy, and it goes
played
well
on
with
my
your
fundraisers
personality.
as
So
well.
we're all on the right page here, buddy.
Yes,
He
sir.
did ask us. He did ask us like to maybe if we were interested to go over there on the 16th. Am I right, Dana?
And the 16th of May. Yeah.
16th of May. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. it's
Oh
not
my
today.
God! I see. I'm all over the place, Dana. You know, you started like to know me. Oh my God! I thought it was in January. I was like, what
Yeah,
the
so
hell is
did I.
going on?
No,
Yeah,
I thought it
no.
was because I was listening to you, John.
Well, somebody needs to listen to
My
the girl
bad.
with the red
My bad.
glasses. Because
Well, what a great way to get us started and to introduce each other. It's a pleasure, guys. I'm so grateful for being a part
Same.
of this tonight. I had no idea, but now I'm kind of catching on to what Dana was trying to lay down. So thank you very much for having me, and it's a pleasure, and I hope to hear more from you guys.
thank you,
Let's
everybody,
go,
for
Skyrocket.
watching and everybody
Thank
for
you.
being here. I'm just going to let everybody out of the room. I'm going to recap real quick and say goodbye to our audience. Take care, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
I don't think it wants to let me take anybody out. It wants us to stay on all night.
All night. All
All
night.
night, I
long.
think.
All.
I don't mind. It's been a great meeting.
All night long.
Here we go.
All night.
This is very challenging. No. You gotta
Come
be
on,
kidding me.
Dana. What's going on? What's going on?
I'm telling you, my computer has been taking over. It's crazy. And I've got a good computer. So,
Oh, Patty is back. Hi, Patty.
okay. Everybody,
Hello.
I think, is out. I don't know. As you can see, I'm not touching my screen and all these things are happening.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you so much
I'm
for watching. Have a wonderful evening and please reach out to us here. See, you're back again.
Love you. Love you.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye. You will succeed.